I use social media quite a lot. I would say around 8 hours a day on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram and Facebook primarily. And I use it to get news, to talk to my friends, to check out local events that are happening, connect with organisations and new people.
Olivia is a disability advocate from Adelaide. They're also autistic and say social media is pretty important to them.
I've found a lot of service providers and health professionals to help me with my disability through like autism Facebook groups. They've been great. So a lot of my friends and a lot of my healthcare team as well, I've found all through social media.
They're worried about how that will change for young Australians with disability.
Platforms now have a social responsibility to ensure the safety of our kids is a priority for them.
Last week, the federal government passed new laws that will ban social media for kids under 16 at the end of next year. The nitty-gritties of the ban are still being hashed out, but it's likely that apps like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook and potentially Snapchat will be banned. And social media companies can be fined up to $50 million if they don't put in reasonable steps to keep under 16s off their platform. Green Senator Jordan Steele-John says the ban could disproportionately affect people living with disability.
For so many people in our disability community, social media is the gateway to community, to connectedness, to a sense of belonging. And that's why it will be really important for the government to support the disabled community, disabled young people, to connect together in other ways.
I've met so many people like through my socials and like just even through comments and messages, people reaching out about, their disability and the things like, they're experiencing at the moment. Independence doesn't mean trying to do everything alone. Sometimes it means getting some support.
Content creator Jimmy Jan says social media can be a great place for young people living with disability to find role models.
I think it's really important actually, to help like normalize disability because 1 in 5 people have a disability, but like there's so many people who they're not exposed to people with disability or they don't see that in their normal life. So for people with disabilities, being able to, find people who have similar experiences and, being able to connect with other people and know that you're not the only one who is going through something or, living your life in a certain way. So I think that's really important to help connect people and just normalize disability, I guess.
I also know a lot of young people with disability use social media to share resources or information and news with each other, especially on stuff that's happening in the disability sector and might not be reported as much. And social media is often used as a way for people with disability to advocate for themselves, and it can be used to amplify their voice and share what they want to say to the whole world.
Olivia says the social media ban will exclude important voices for the disability community.
I think the disability community really values the perspective that young people with disability bring, and at that age, you're sort of really getting involved with the disability community. I think that social media is often the only reliable space for people with disability to access community, advocacy, and often information. So for younger people with disability to not be able to access these, I think it would greatly impact their lives.
The government says the ban is about protecting young Aussies from the harms of social media, such as online hate and bullying, and says the legislation is putting pressure on social media companies to do better.
This is about protecting young people, not punishing or isolating them, and letting parents know we're in their corner when it comes to supporting their children's health and well-being.
The government will spend the next year ironing out the details. Senator Steele-John says he recognises that there are issues that need to be solved, but a blanket ban won't fix them.
There is a real need for additional safeguards and protections and responsibilities upon social media companies. And we could work together to do that. For instance, age-appropriate algorithms so that, kids get on their feeds things that are appropriate for kids, and the older you get, the content changes. Like, that is very, very possible. Parental consent and parental monitoring, where you have that kind of consent-based model, that's really useful. And making sure there are easy to access, easy to use privacy settings as well across these platforms. That's key.
Olivia agrees that social media can be a dangerous place, but they would rather see education than an outright ban.
I think that greater digital literacy programs should be introduced for younger people, whether that be in school or online. I also think social media companies should have more of a duty of care for people on their platforms, particularly in monitoring and giving consequences for online ableism. Social media offers a way for young people with disability to form a community and really combat the isolation that they may be feeling. People can come together based on their experiences and the barriers that they face, and can join a community that feels the same way they do about those things.